Am I wrong for telling my son that being a nerd doesn't mean that he's superior to anyone, especially his little sister? I have 2 kids, Jake and Jamie. Jake is 16-year-old male and big into the media I like is my entire personality and I'm better than you because I like those things, and has grown up to be very judgmental, cold, and mean. We honestly do not know how this happened, but his nasty attitude comes out the most at his little sister. Jamie is 14-year-old female and is a very bubbly, friendly girl. She makes friends with everyone, everywhere she goes, and she is also kind of a mini trendsetter for her school. She started selling homemade scrunchies at school and it took off. Jake makes fun of her all the time for being vapid, girly, etc. So my husband talked to him about misogyny, because we were both shocked on where that came from. We thought the issue was handled, and he started to be nicer to Jamie. Until the last week of school, Jamie came home from school having won an award for the scrunchie business. We were proud of her and had tacos, her favorite, for dinner. Mind you, if Jake did something like that, we'd do the same. We love to celebrate their successes. Well, Jake was pissy at dinner and interrupted to talk about his video game accomplishments. We were all very polite and listened and congratulated him. He just looked at his sister and was like, "And I did that by myself without having to make everyone else hear about it all the time and dressing up like a pick-me to get everyone's attention." I just looked at my husband, then Jake, and said, "Being a nerd doesn't make you superior to anyone in this family, Jake. You can like video games and still be a nice person to your family, especially your little sister. Quit acting like a little snot." He got red in the face and took his little tantrum upstairs to his room. Since then, he's barely talked to anyone and just holes up in his room playing games all day. My husband did tell me that I shouldn't have said that because it's going to pit them against each other more, even though Jamie doesn't get why her brother treats her like this. Am I the AH? Am I wrong for telling a fellow mother of a special needs child that my daughter is not responsible for her child? I have 2 children who we'll call Maria, 14-year-old female, and David, 7-year-old male. David is on the autism spectrum, he is non-vocal and requires a fair bit of specialized care. Since his birth, Maria has had to take on a partial caring role for David for a variety of reasons. I make sure that this is not to an extent where she is taking care of him, however. Just enough so that she can help out while not losing out on her own life and experiences as a child. Unfortunately, this does not always work out as intended, and sometimes Maria does have to step up when I and my husband fail. But I always make sure to make it up to her and reward her for the time she helps us out like I would a normally paid caretaker. This summer, I enrolled Maria in a summer art program. She had been looking forward to it for months and was ecstatic on the first day. This enthusiasm quickly turned sour and she stopped wanting to go after only the first 2 weeks. This was because Maria was essentially assigned to watch over a girl we'll call Helen. Helen is a girl who is also on the autism spectrum. I know Helen's mother personally, and when she learned that her daughter and mine were going to be in the same art classes over the summer, she asked the organizers personally to essentially assign Maria to be Helen's mandatory friend over the summer. Over the first 2 weeks, Maria was essentially burdened with Helen. She spent a good chunk of the class time helping Helen out with her own projects instead of being able to work on her own. She also at one point had to help one of the teachers out when Helen began to have an anxiety attack and did not get to do any art the entire day. When I learned of this, I was livid. I contacted the organizers of the art program and went off, demanding my money back and threatening to report them for having a student, and a minor at that, responsible for the care of a special needs child. They let it slip to me that Helen's mother told them that I and her were close friends, which is not the case. I called Helen's mother up as well and went off, demanding to know where she got the nerve to ruin my child's own experience and treat her like a caretaker for her own child. She claimed that Helen wanted to do the art program, but she was afraid that she would not be able to do it alone, that Maria had experience with special needs children and that she felt safe with her being next to Helen's side. She then yelled at me, called me a heartless asshole, and said that I should know where she was coming from. I got my money back and am looking into private art tutoring options for Maria. When my husband learned what happened, he lost it. Said that I should be understanding of Helen's mother, considering our own situation. So now I'm second-guessing myself. Am I wrong for telling my wife she needs to find another job? I am a 26-year-old male, and my wife, 24-year-old female, have been married for 4 years. During those 4 years, she had the same job which requires her to be away Friday to Sunday, so she leaves early on Friday and returns about 4 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Occasionally, it would be leaving on Saturday and returning Sunday. She also has to work some of the school or public holidays. I work full-time and get just a bit above minimum wage and tips, so our bills are split 60, her to 4, me. While I find myself struggling with money and having to borrow from the joint bank account, my wife never had this problem. I know she is getting paid more than I do as she works for a high-profile client, but I'm not sure by how much more. She also wouldn't tell me what exactly she is doing. All I know is that it is connected to her degree, and it is 100% not a sex work or nothing in that industry. The reason why she won't tell me is because she signed the contract and it is highly confidential, so she is not allowed to go into details. She does chores around the house, but doesn't cook. She admits herself she is a bad cook and hates it. Instead, she would order either those pre-made healthy meals you then heat up for herself or take away. When I'm home and she hasn't ordered, she will order for me too. So most of the day while I'm working, she is either in our house chilling, watching TV, playing video games, reading or exercising, or shopping, or in the gym. Over the years, I got annoyed with this and have asked her to find another job so she has something to do while I'm working instead of wasting her day. She told me she is not wasting her day, but relaxing, and her job pays her enough so she can afford the lifestyle she wants. I said it is not fair on me, as I come home tired while she has done nothing all day, to which she said I can find another job or a different job, but I am an for wanting her to find another job because I feel tired when coming back from my work, when she has already got a job she loves. After, she won't talk to me. I have spoken to my family, and while my parents agree with me that she needs to work, my sisters took my wife's side and called me a massive Am I wrong for not reacting to my mother-in-law's antics anymore? I'm 25-year-old female, and my wedding was last week. I'm currently on a road trip with my husband for our honeymoon, and this has been bugging me since the big scene at my wedding. Let me make this clear, mother-in-law is a mother from hell. She hates me for the simple reason that no girl is good enough for her son and that I'm the witch who stole him from her. She does not listen to my husband at all and believes I'm the evil witch who's corrupted him against her. While we were dating, she'd do a lot of crap to me to get a rise or reaction, usually negative from me, and at first, I'd react exactly how she wanted, but eventually I got tired and just went along with her crap. Feeding me food I dislike, okay, I'll eat it, lying about what day I was going dress shopping, and not answering her calls anymore, check. Basically, she's gotten more and more unhinged and pissed off, because I've stopped reacting, and my father-in-law and other-in-laws have been telling me to stop my antics, because mother-in-law usually ends up taking it out on them. The straw that broke the dam happened at my wedding. I didn't have a traditional wedding. It was at a lakeside, and the reception was an outdoor barbecue. I wore a red sundress, because I like red, and I was planning on swimming later. Mother-in-law showed up in a white dress that bordered on wedding dress, and when she found out that I was wearing a red sundress, she got pissed. My brother and husband ended up having to drag her out of the lakeside and get my father-in-law to take her home due to the tantrums she threw. Anyway, she's been making life miserable for everyone back home and blaming me for it. My husband's on my side and supports how I react to his mother, but my other-in-laws are telling me to stop being childish because they have to deal with the consequences of my actions with how mother-in-law acts, and they're sick of my immaturity and to just do what mother-in-law says. That's it for today's story time. Enjoy the rest of the video.